wave that went tandem. Stock market crashed, we crashed, and we all had to crawl out of that ooze together. That's not what happened here. We had a really strong economy, and then we had this wave of the virus, and the virus came in and shut everything down like nothing else we've ever seen. There are varying stages of stay-at-home orders or shutdown, whatever you want to call it, around the country, but essentially everything, the way we did business in January and February, everything is gone, that stuff. But this wave, and I went back and looked at pandemics all the way back to the 1911 flu, the 1918, and when you look at all the pandemics that we've had, and it's happening with this one, they tend to have a shelf life plus or minus 7 months. So what started in the Hunan province was either in November, December, depending on who you want to believe. But at the Hunan province right now, people are essentially going back to work. They're tearing down the temporary hospitals. They're removing the barricades. They're still not safe. People are walking around with masks on. People are cautious and timid, and we should pay attention to that. But theirs was 5 months before they started returning to quote unquote normalcy. The researchers say that when pandemics happen, there will be a 2 to 4 month extension in the economy in order to recover. So if a pandemic takes 5 months, there could be as many as 20 months for the economy to recover and get back on its feet, assuming the economic fundamentals were sound. So right now in the States, it hit us in January. It is now April, we're 4 months in. We are seeing signs of a potential peaking in New York City. But there are other places in our country that are only starting to take off. They're starting to see their numbers increasing. So we're not even. This is not Hunan. We are uneven all across the country. So this is going to go on for a while. So the point is, you're going to do business in a very different way for the wave of the virus. And some of you, this virus is going to end at the end of April or the end of May or the end of June. But you have a relatively short shelf life of how you're going to do business now. So I heard you, Dana, the new normal is a short new normal. We're going to do business now in a certain way. The reality about what agents need to think about right now, in my opinion, is very simple. You need to wake up every day at 8 a.m. and get on your phones with your A's and your B's. A's would be people that last fall or early this year, they told you they intended to buy or sell in the springtime. So they were going to put their house on the market. They were going to buy a home, and they're going to do that in March, April, May, June, and they wanted to be in before school started at the beginning of the year. This is a real normal wave, nothing unusual about this. But some of those people are still ready to do it. Some of them are maybe going to do it, but they're concerned, and some are scared to death, and they're not going to do anything. And if you stir in anybody lost a job on a dual income family, now all bets are off that they're going to do anything, right? So you got to get on the phone, and I've been calling it very simply this. You got to take care of finishing up your literal pipeline. Your pipeline needs to be closed out. All the people that told you they were going to do it in April, May, or June, you need to be talking to them and verifying they're still on, explaining to them how with the virus, we can help you buy or sell, and we can mitigate against the risk of you getting the virus. And you need to have a detailed written plan to do that. And it needs to be in print already. And you need to have a presentation to present via a Zoom call. And you have worked through the mechanics of talking to them and then starting to share documents, and what graphs and charts are you going to show, and what are you going to talk about, and how do you close them for the listing. And when I say the listing, I mean buyer or seller. Because all of your consultations right now are going to be on the digital platform, and they need to be on the digital platform for your safety and for their safety. So you need to do that. You need to understand how to explain they're going to tour property through videos and multiple photos. And in some markets, and this is our market, there will be one showing. And the one showing we'll do is either, depending on the buyer's mindset, right before you write the contract to buy it, or right after you get a fully executed contract to buy it. Now, there are some places like Manhattan, you don't even get to do that. They're going to have to buy it sight unseen, period. The good news is, in almost all markets, appraisers and inspectors can still access the property if they wish to. and particularly the inspectors. So it's not like nobody's going to look at it at all, but they're going to have to learn to rely on that, and that needs to be part of your presentation. So here's the pragmatic approach. So for the next 1, 2, 3 months, every morning, you will be confirming the people who said, I'll do it in April, I'll do it in May, and I'll do it in June. Did they do it, or they're not going to do it? And if they're not going to do it, you'll be rebuilding your pipeline from scratch. So the people that said April or May and say no, well, is it no or is it not yet? And if it's not yet, when are you going to do it? Because we're all going to take a hit in the next 2 or 3 months in business, but a lot of that business will be recoverable. So nobody thought this in January, but some people that were thinking April, May, will move in June or July, and we'll be settled in. They're actually going to be selling in August or September and moving in and be settled by Thanksgiving. And that will be the new normal for a lot of the migratory patterns of people in housing units. So you need to close out your old pipeline, start building your new pipeline with those displaced active A's or B's. Then after an hour and a half of those calls every morning, you need to get on the phone to your entire Met database. And that is a care call. So the first call is about, Bob, Gene Rivers, buddy. April was the month you told me. I'm calling to follow up. It's the beginning of April. I know there's a lot going on with the economy and with the virus, but tell me, you still want to move? It's a straightforward, hard, closed question. You still want to move? Well, we think so, but we're a little worried. Let's talk about it because I got answers. If you're worried about the virus, we have strategies. Let's go, boy. So that's the script there. But when you start calling your Mets, it is a different script. Hey, Dana, it's Gene Rivers. How you doing? How are things going? How's your family? I hope nobody's gotten the virus that you know. I hope so. And if not, I hope they're getting great care. But are there people in your family that maybe need some help and I can provide that? Do you have any elderly parents who need maybe some food deliveries? I know you're probably doing them, but I can spare you a couple of nights. I'll take care of it, some deliveries. What about income? Has anybody lost a job? Is anybody concerned about paying their mortgage? Who do you know that's feeling stressed about money? If nothing else, they need to download our app and they can check out their mortgage rate. If they've got a 5% plus or minus rate, they can refinance, no costs, no points, no fees, and they can refinance and get a lower monthly payment. And they can also, on the same app, Bob, they can, or Dana, they can check out their insurance. They might be able to save $300, 30% or more on their insurance. So that will save them some money. So that's a little gift I'd like to give to anybody you know, family member, friend, or coworker, to maybe save some money, and maybe I can answer some questions for them. So you need to start building a new pipeline out of those different conversations you're going to have with your Mets now. And it is urgent that you do these calls. This is urgent, because here's the point. We all started in January doing our business this way. And all of a sudden, we're doing our business all the way over here. Nobody thought this is the way you'd be doing your business. But when this ends, when the virus wave ends, well, guess what? We're not going all the way back to here. We're going to go to here, because we're going to find that a lot of consumers actually like the digital platform approach. It's efficient. They're in the comfort of their own home. They have conversations with you. They get a lot of information, and they can make prudent decisions in a timely manner. We're not going back to the way we were, but we're not going to stay in this. It'll be here. Now, here's the point. The agents who don't develop immediate knowledge about how to use the digital platform to essentially do your whole transaction are going to be left behind, because the agents who do adapt immediately and start to do their marketing at a higher level through command on a digital platform, they're going to be out there grabbing market share, and they're going to be grabbing market share like crazy, the ones who understand what's going on, because everybody is sitting home right now, everybody. And what are they all doing? They're on the dang internet. And what are they doing on the internet? They're looking at anything and everything. So if anybody's got any real estate interest in them at all, they're going to be looking on YouTube, not Google. They're going to be on YouTube searching for information about real estate. And none of this is news to any of you. There are companies and agents. There are companies like Zillow and Trulia, and there are agents like me and other agents that are already good at having platforms and ad-driven connections with people where we have traps set to capture their contact information, and then we will follow up and convert them. And This is going on at a high level right now. If you don't have videos on all your listings and they're all posted on YouTube and Instagram and indexed back to your website, linked back to your website, and on maybe small dollar ads, $10 a week budget through Command, running campaigns at $10 a week. Our average lead cost right now is about $1.30, $1.35 a lead. It's the most economic lead machine there is in the industry. And the people like my wife and I who are pulling out of Boomtown, and instead of spending 40 grand a year, if I spent 40 grand right now on the accelerators I've got through Command, oh my God, we literally can't handle the lead flow we're getting now on a $10 weekly bust. So you got to get on this. 3 months from now, and I'm very serious, a large amount of the next 6 to 12 months business is already going to be captured and in play by people who are taking advantage of this market. This is a strategic decision you all need to make. Get into video, get it online, start boosting it organically. Email all of your sphere. Anytime you create a video, your past clients in sphere, check out my new video. Look at my new video. And part of what you should be sending them is a weekly update on real estate in the virus world. You need to talk to people about COVID-19 and the way real estate is still being bought and sold. And the number one most important thing for you to send out to your sphere every 7 days, your sphere and past clients, is an update report. In the last 7 days, there were 137 new listings, there were 142 pending properties, and there were 87 closings. And every 7 days, that simple truth, a little email newsletter, the last 7 days, real estate in the world of the coronavirus. Here's what's happening. And people that are thinking about it, but not sure or scared or worried, when they see every week new listings, new pendings, closings, 7 days later, new listings, new pendings, new closings, you're eliminating the doubt that can it be done. That doubt is gone. There's no doubt that it can't be done. They're watching it being done every single week. So you need to eliminate that simple concept through that constant messaging, and then have your own collateral material that discuss how we market your property, how we help you find the property in a digital marketplace. And that all needs to be really clear. So, yeah.
Gene, okay, so my hand is cramping from from writing. I'm sure everybody else is too. So quick question that we got. What's your advice on how do we help customers and agents understand that we're not going back to normal after the stay at home is lifted, and be, still be sensitive around it?
Well, again, we're not going to go back to the way we were, but we're also not going to stay where they are right now, because what's going to happen is not only consumers, but some agents are going to find, hey, I prefer the digital platform myself. So it won't be for everybody. In fact, it's going to be exactly like lending. The studies with Keller Mortgage have shown that where Keller Mortgage first pioneered and went out, it ended up, there's two kinds of people basically when it comes to mortgages. There are people that need their hand held and want to talk to somebody face to face, and there are people who are perfectly comfortable with a digital transaction. So one is around saving money and the other is around customer service, and they decide. And my point is, the agents who don't understand that I need to be capable of the extreme of both are going to get lost behind. So I don't think you have an option here, but it's not your decision. It's going to be the consumer's decision on how they want to be treated in the transaction.
Yep, perfect. Okay. So Gene, will you walk us through what you guys are doing right now specifically for listings and virtual listings?
Well, yeah, it's pretty simple. It's the same thing. The lead comes in, or you created the lead and you convert to an appointment. Now that was already being done either online by us. A lot of our leads were internet leads, and that was done online through email or on the telephone following up. So you book the appointment, it's still booked. You still want to have the necessary parties there. So if it's a couple, it's the two of them, not one of them. I need a time when the two of you will be available to be online with me on a Zoom call. The good news is so much of business today is now being done remote the idea about doing a Zoom call, half the people you talk to, that's the way they're working right now. So this is not, ooh, some freaky new technology. This is like everyday stuff. All of a sudden, in 4 weeks, this is everyday stuff. The easiest way to get into it is you should have, all of you, I'm assuming, you should have a pre-listing presentation for a buyer and the seller, which is what you would send to them through email or mail or delivery before your appointment. And that now becomes the tool that you do a share link with the documents, and you're still on the screen in a thumbnail, and you're walking them through literally page by page. You can do it with an Adobe document, or you can do it, put it into a PowerPoint and just click and go through. I went through 47 pages of information this morning, just clicking through and talking. So this is not complicated. It's not complicated at all. And in fact, a powerful thing to say to people is, why don't you type out your notes as we go through, instead of me stopping to answer your questions. And at the end, we can run through your questions. But I think if you'll let me get through the presentation, I'm going to answer a lot of questions along the way. So let's just try that approach. Okay, Dana, you're okay with that? Mm-hmm. Great, let's go, let's do it. And that's how you do it. That's the easiest way to get started. At a higher level, you would do a more directly defined presentation for this type of experience online, which will be a little different than flipping through your pre-list package, but that's an easy way to get started. And everybody should do that.
Yeah. So, okay, that's great, Gene. What about, talk to me about how people, I've had a lot of people say they've had reservations around someone actually purchasing a home virtually. What are your thoughts on that? What advice would you give on that?
If you can find a spouse online, you can find a house online.
Love it.
It's that simple. It's not any more complicated than that. People are buying, we are selling houses online all the time and have been for my entire career. Our second year in, we started doing corporate relocation work. And the minute you do that, you end up with people that will come to town, look around, figure out kind of where they want to be and how much they're willing to spend. And yet they haven't got the job details, so they're not ready to buy, and they go home. And then 3 weeks later, between you sending them properties and them online looking at properties, you end up writing a contract and they buy the home, and they've actually never walked through the home. Mm-hmm. Now, the myth that the agents you're talking about have is people won't buy a home they haven't walked through. How many people buy new construction?
Yeah, great.
How many people have a home built from scratch? They ain't never walked through that house, and it's the most expensive house to buy, is one that's not even existing yet. So don't tell me people won't buy houses that aren't built. They do it with new construction. They do it with corporate relocation. They do it when they're in the military. People do it all the time. It's not the majority of people until the coronavirus. And now it's the majority of people who may end up in the next 3 months. The majority of buyers might actually have not been into their house. Mm-hmm. But again, in some markets, and mine is one, we're getting all the buyers to focus on, you will pick the final house before we ever look at a house. And the one you'll look at will be that house. And you'll do it either right before you make the offer, or you'll do it with a 48-hour period to review the property. So they'll get the contract done and then have 48 hours to tour the property and say yes or no. So either way, it's still one showing. And I can't get the risk down any lower than that other than to say 0, right? Mm-hmm. So I think whether your market is in full lockdown now, like Manhattan, or you're in a stay home, but you're considered an essential industry, so you actually can still show property, I would still want to minimize showings as much as you can for the safety of the seller, the buyer, and the agents, and all the people involved in the transaction.
Yeah, perfect. Are you guys, so when you have sellers who are still saying, like they're still being insistent on that they want, I'm sorry, not sellers, when you have buyers that are still being insistent that they want to go in and look at homes, that's when you're saying we got to get it down to year 1.
Yeah, and let me be clear about this. The risk is real. The risk is real. People are dying. Make no mistake about it. The risk is real, and you can't deny that, and you shouldn't deny that. But the flip side of that is, if you're going to the grocery store and you're going to the drugstore and you're going to the gas station, you have as much or more risk of exposure there than you do with one couple walking into one house. But every agent, here's my point, every agent and every buyer and every seller has the right to determine how much risk do they personally want to take, right? But buyers and sellers who want an agent to take more risk than the agent is willing to take, they shouldn't be shocked if the agent says, you know, you do not need to look at 21 houses to buy one. And frankly, if I do that with you, I'm going to be at a higher level of risk from this virus. And so are you. Wouldn't it make sense for you and your children and your parents who might catch it from you as a carrier? Isn't it better make more sense that you really work with me and focus, and let's get that list down to how about 2 or 3 houses? You know we're going to end up with a list of 10 or 12, and you're going to narrow it to 2 or 3, and then you're going to pick one. Can we at least agree to get to the 3 or the 2 and then pick the 1 and save the true risk that your family members would have to endure because you wanted to see more houses?
Yep. Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions about what have you had with your, what luck have you had best ads running on command? Anything in particular that you're running that's getting more attention?
Right now, videos. YouTube is overloaded. I think it's 11 days ago, if you didn't catch this, 11 days ago, YouTube made an announcement that they are no longer capable of streaming high definition video. Everything is being streamed in standard definition due to the incredible volume of videos being watched. And a whole bunch of those are real estate videos. And all of you that are sitting there thinking about, you know, what's my business plan? What's my business plan? What I said in the beginning is real. Your business plan doesn't exist anymore. You should throw that thing away. And what you should really be focused on right now is video. And you need, if you think of YouTube as a paradigm, you need 2 channels. You need a property view channel, and that would be property views of your own listings, maybe some views of new construction neighborhoods, drive through the neighborhoods, show some sample properties, walk through a model home, start putting that stuff up. And you need to have a second channel, which is on real estate information. And you should be doing that right now. How to buy a home in the world of the coronavirus. How to be safe and secure and get the home of your dreams at the same time. You need to shoot that video. Thinking about selling, how we can sell your home and protect your family and mitigate risk. You need to shoot that video. Buying and selling is not what it used to be. It's a digital platform. Learn how we can do home buying and selling totally on a digital platform. Watch this video. You need to be doing video after video. You need to follow the standard format of 2 to 2.5 minutes per video. But the beauty is you get to write it out, you get to practice it, and then you get to record it. And it'll be the best possible presentation you could actually make to somebody. And people are searching for this stuff on YouTube right now, and they're watching it right now. And the people who have videos up are going to dominate in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, I heard somebody say a couple weeks ago, and now it rings true more than ever. If you're afraid to do video, you got to get over it, or you got to get out of the business. That's
it. All of this is gelling at one time. You know, all of us not all of us, in most of the country, we're now up to 5G, which is an incredibly fast platform. The whole point of that is video. And we have much higher indexing of searches on YouTube video than we do on Google. Google is actually losing ground to apps and searches on YouTube video. Why do you think Google bought YouTube? It's because they saw the future is video on the web. Why did Facebook buy Instagram? Because they saw the future on the internet is video. So this is about us now. This is about us. You want to sell a lot of houses through this turbulent time? Get a lot of video out there, and your chances to sell a lot of houses go way up. And I mean with buyers and sellers. Get excited about it. I know you've got another program coming on about the virtual open house.
That's next.
Yeah, the viewer, I'm sure you're going to hear about it, so I'm not going to dive into it, but the viewership is in the hundreds of views for one little video open house. And registered leads are typically much bigger than they are when you did your own open house and had 8 people come in. So This is something consumers are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, one last question. Actually, I'm getting a ton, but I'm going to fill them to YouTube. Well, two, Gene. One, have you heard of any good examples, any teams, any agents that are really killing it with coronavirus videos, all the things you just talked about?
It's all over the country. It's bits and pieces. People are putting it all together. Literally, while I'm talking to you, people are putting it all together. The power of all of, I mean, how many Zoom calls are you doing a week?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about what I'm talking to you to people all over the country. I had 100 agents in Manhattan, and that's all they could have was 100 because they didn't have a big account on their Zoom call. I had them in California. I mean, it's all over the country now. So I don't know anybody who's, quote, mastered this at all at this point, but everybody's getting videos online. If nothing else, videos of your listings, because everybody sitting at home that's thinking about buying a home wants to see the video of your listing. So this is like, duh. So I'd start with that. I'd start with listing videos of your properties. And if you can do, you know, a higher level tour, Matterport is probably the Cadillac choice, but it's expensive. But if you don't do that, at least do a solid, good, decent video tour.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. I'll answer some of these command and YouTube questions in the chat so we don't have to take up Gene's time. Gene, thanks. You crushed it as usual.
Oh, thank you.
2 pages and notes on my end, and I'm trying to fill questions at the same time. So I'll be going back and watching this. We appreciate you. Stay safe.
Okay.
Stay healthy.
I will.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you so
Bye.
much.